World, I'm having a cup of love this view, y'all. You should check this out. Wow. It's like being on vacation right now. Oh man. You know, some people take a vacation by going on a boat. I take a vacation by going to a house. I mean, wow. Anyways, I gotta get ready for work, and Kitty's gonna relax in his little happy chair. Aww. The boom at the wood shop has all the hardware on, and it's ready for paint or varnish or whatever the owner wants to do with it. And I started the process of cutting out the panels for the Volkswagen bus. So the bamboo's been glued on to the linear, or whatever it's called, and now it's ready to be cut. Okay, Pete informed me it's not linear, it's Luan. But anyways, now I sand the edges and get them all ready to go. And the ones that had a couple little cracks in them, I got a little epoxy and some wood filler dust and filled in all the little spots that needed attention on the panels. Some of the corners of the panels, the contact cement actually came loose from when I cut it on the bandsaw. So I also used some of that epoxy to make sure it stuck really, really well. Now that I'm waiting for the epoxy to dry, I might as well answer some of your questions. I gotta find a place to sit. Stand. This is probably a horrible angle. Okay. Welcome to the horrible angle world. Bill Gates asked, can you think about doing a video on costs, specifically how much it costs to be on the hard and how much it costs to be on the mooring or the hook? Typically, if you're on the hook, it's free, depending on the jurisdiction. Some places you have to pay to go to shore. So it depends on where you are. Here in Florida, it's very hard to anchor. So sometimes it makes it a little difficult to be a boater because there are people who have nice houses and they don't want boats out in front of their house or for whatever reason. So anchoring can be a little tough, but yes, usually anchoring's free. And then for, moorings, usually moorings are cheaper than dockage. Moorings also offer, obviously your dinghy to go to the dock, where some places don't. If you're anchored, you have to pay to bring your dinghy to shore, like I was saying. Dockage can be kind of pricey, so keep an eye on, usually they dock by foot. They charge by foot on the dockage, as well as water and electricity. So those are factors you'll have to just find out, Also hauling, different boatyards charge different depending on the size of your boat as well and how long you'll stay. So it's different for each scenario, and you really have to kind of look into it and do a little research. Typically, usually it's cheapest to anchor, and then the next cheapest is to moor, and then it goes up from there, dockage to hauling out. Guard Dog asked, do you ever fish off the boat then cook the catch for dinner? Usually we do, but lately because we've been so busy getting ready and working and kind of trying to build up the cruising kitty, we haven't had really time to do that. But once we go cruising, yeah, we'll definitely do that more. Gates, Walter Brown and somebody else asked, Lance Daniels, all asked why rock salt the bilge. In one of the videos, we actually rinsed the bilge and cleaned it, and it was with fresh water. So it's always good if you do have fresh water to put a little rock salt where the fresh water sits. That way you don't want to rot the boat out, and not that it will, but you know, it's always good to kind of do that, keep the salt in the bilge. Sensei Dave, he was mentioning about Wi-Fi, and that will be the interesting thing when we go cruising. One of his posts talks about Wi-Fi and how it's not very good. I've noticed that every single marina we've ever been to, the Wi-Fi's never been good. I think because there's so many people on the one server or the two servers that it just doesn't, it's not very good Wi-Fi. Ooh, this is a horrible angle. So yeah, that's the one thing that's gonna be interesting is trying to upload a video. We might be behind when we do go cruising, so if we do, we're gonna still try to video every day and edit every day. But what we'll do is if we can't, well, obviously we won't be able to post a video if we're offshore or if we're in a place that doesn't have Wi-Fi, but as soon as we get to somewhere, we'll just kind of like flood with videos. And if it is going to be too hard to do an everyday video, maybe we'll do like a every other day kind of thing. We'll kind of see how it works as we go along. And but I do kind of want to continue with that. That way you can see like the real thing of the cruising. So that would be an interesting idea. If it's a boring, like I say, if it's a boring day or whatever, like if we're cruising and it's a nice calm weather, or if it's stormy and we can't film, then obviously we can't film. Or it's just not anything to film that day because it's just sails and water, you know. I got off on a tangent. A. Langwell, I understand the need for a double half hitch to tie the net to the sprit, but nobody can ever give me a satisfactory answer on the question, why put a net on the sides of the sprit? On old tall ships, the nets would carry the guys that fell off the sprit when they were wrestling with the Hank-on double or triple head sails, but nowadays with self-furlers, are they necessary? Well, no. If you don't have self-furler, then yes, it's necessary, which we have a Hank-on jib, so it's necessary for us. But with with a self-furler, I don't know, it could get stuck, and there could be things that, you know, need to be serviced, and you can't get out there. Well, you can, but trying to go out there in 10-foot seas might not be very fun. Darlin Dar asked, I asked what the net is for, and that's why. So that we can climb out and hank on the jib and mess around with the bowsprit or whatever needs service out there. And I can take a nap and watch dolphins. It's Jojo asked, yeah, I noticed you were working on your editing, a step up for sure. While I have loved this blog, I keep wondering just how much processing or editing time you invest each day. Yeah, at first, when I was first doing it, it was kind of hard because I didn't know the different shortcut buttons on the computer to make it go a little faster, so that's always important to know those things. Pete did. Pete taught me that. I take, what do you think, an hour and a half sometimes? Well, I take about an hour to edit, but usually it takes time to load the videos in the computer, and then it takes time to load the video that I made into something, into a file to send to YouTube. I think that's it for now. Yeah, that's it for now. And Pete's gonna chop something with the chop box. Drop Pete off at the marina, and then I've got to go walk the dogs. But first I gotta go to the grocery store and get a couple things, and then I gotta come and walk the dogs and stay the night at the house again. I'm a house dweller for a couple days. It's kind of fun. It's like a vacation. It's kind of nice. So I've got a bunch of panels that all have the second coat of varnish on, and the final coat will be a gloss, a high gloss. See you guys in a little while. Okay, made it to the house. Cat's just kind of hanging out. You want to go for a walk? You both do? Okay. I'm gonna have something that all of you in Boaters Land is gonna be jealous of.